differently abled, differently.
Welcome back. The University of Nairobi launched their disability mainstreaming strategy while marking the International Day of Persons with Disabilities with an aim of creating an enabling environment for academic excellence. Take a look.
Employment for persons with disabilities is quite a challenge due to various factors, education being one of them.
If we want to get opportunities for jobs for people with disability, it starts with education, because all those jobs come with requirements that you must have certain qualifications to get a certain job, but those qualifications are largely academic.
Education then, beyond all other differences of human origin, is a great equalizer of the conditions of men, the balanced wheel of the social machinery. I, Isaac Maura, I am a product of education myself, having started boarding school at Thika Primary School for the Blind at the young age of 4.5 years.
Transition to institutions of higher learning for learners with disabilities is always low.
Over the years, it's been very difficult to even get people with disability to join the university. And that's not only University of Nairobi, but statistics shows that transition rate of persons with disability to higher learning is quite low. And this is basically because of the gaps around attitudinal barriers for people with disability within the community, and the fact that the value attached to disability has been seen as low over time.
Institutions of higher learning are therefore making efforts to make their environments accessible to learners with disabilities.
There has been a challenge of fear of disclosure, of course, because of the stereotypes that people have around persons with disability. So there have been people who have been struggling, but they fear saying because they don't know whether this would work against them or it would work for them.
The University of Nairobi has taken the center stage in inclusivity.
The university held its first successful International Day of Persons with Disabilities celebrations. The 3 days disability awareness event showcased numerous activities, including registrations of persons with disabilities by the National Council, sports, COVID-19 vaccination drive targeting persons with disabilities, and a webinar on building on experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I'm happy that the university is already taking steps to implement the objectives of this consequential policy by improving accessibility, employing more persons with disabilities, creating parking areas for persons with disabilities, and putting into consideration other special needs of learners and students with disabilities.
At first, there was no support, and as I was coming in, the attitude was, are you going to cope? It was like, we are not going to do anything about it, are you just going to cope? And I said, yes, I'm going to cope, but in due course, about 14 years later, when the university started talking about disability inclusion, the university did purchase for me some equipment, a Braille embosser, which is a printer into Braille, and a screen reader that vocalizes what's on the computer screen, and that has been very, very helpful. Also making special effort to provide me with office space, which we may think is a matter of course, but it isn't. It was a real challenge those days with shortages.
During the 2023 International Day of Persons with Disabilities, they launched the Disability Mainstreaming Strategy.
The University of Nairobi Disability Mainstreaming Strategy seeks to enhance or seeks to achieve excellence in disability inclusion at the University of Nairobi and to promote an enabling environment for effective and efficient service delivery to persons with disabilities in the university community.
This is in cognizance of the gaps that we have in disability inclusion within the university. We've been making progress in terms of using policy and strategies as guideline to help formalize our disability inclusion efforts.
I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to be part of this event, particularly as we witness the launch of the university's disability mainstreaming strategy for the period 2023 to 2028 with the theme, Building an Enabling Environment where persons with disabilities achieve excellence at the University of Nairobi.
This is to further boost their efforts in ensuring learners are accommodated to take a course of their choice.
Having a committee in every institution has definitely improved the landscape within the universities. In fact, when you now go to the universities and even ask for how accessible is this institution to persons with disabilities, when you go to even look at the softwares they have in place to support persons with disabilities, it's actually amazing. Some of the universities have really done so well. So I think now persons with disabilities can now access almost any course within the university.
Accessibility has to do with making things usable by everyone, and particularly making things usable by persons with disabilities.
And so, as a person doing law, it has really been challenging for me. The interpreters are there, good. However, in law school, we have got very legal terminologies. Sometimes I would like to make a comment in class, and I will wonder whether the interpreter will actually voice the legal terminologies that are there. And so I depend most of the time on my books and the sign language interpreter, and that is maybe a biggest challenge that I have. But what I really appreciate, in my class, it's very accessible. There's a sign language interpreter. However, I may not get 100% of what is being taught, because that is the challenge also on the side of the sign language interpreters.
To achieve this, awareness creation is necessary to both learners and lecturers.
The value of, listening to the lived experiences of both of the learners with disabilities, lecturers with disabilities, and taking that into account in planning, in implementation, and exploring partnerships, collaborations to further disability inclusion.
We've come a long way, yet our journey towards full inclusivity is far from over. Our successes serve as a testament to our collective commitment and resilience, but challenges persist. Let us reaffirm our dedication today to continue pushing boundaries, breaking barriers, and creating a society where every individual, regardless of ability, contributes meaningfully to society.
With support from government and already implemented policies, learners with disabilities should be able to learn and interact with those without disabilities.
But with the emerging policies, legislations, the CRPD and the Constitution, and continuous awareness, people get to appreciate the potential of people with disability.
The government is very keen and is working towards promoting disability inclusion on matters of accessibility and even within the digital economy. Our nation proudly stands as a signatory to various international disability protocols, reinforcing our unwavering dedication to upholding the rights and inclusion of persons with disabilities. Kenya remains truly committed to the AU Disability Protocol, the UN Conventions on the Right of Persons with Disability, CRPD, and other international jurisprudence and customary laws, which strongly call for the full actualization or potential of persons with disabilities.
With all this in place, the speakers appreciate the already made milestones.
Disability is a social construct, just like gender. It is a matter of context, since it is the environment, whether natural or built, that either disables or enables an individual. Just as a fish excels in water but faces challenges on land, individuals with disabilities thrive in inclusive settings. An inclusive society doesn't overlook disabilities.
All human beings have limitations. For example, we all have a flying disability. None of us flies. Therefore, we have invented aeroplanes because all human beings have a flying disability. And so there are enough planes. But because only a few may have challenges with using stairs, or challenges with hearing, or challenges with seeing, then it is one of those things that society lazily ignores.
We really have to do much more, but we also have to celebrate the small wins that we have. Like, we can now talk about people with disability across the 10 faculties of the University of Nairobi, as opposed to the traditional belief that persons with disability could only pursue education. So we have architects with disability, people graduating from the School of Law, Medicine, name it.